Good, happy Thursday afternoon, April 16, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this afternoon edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this afternoon, so let's begin. First up, COVID-19 in New Hampshire, what you need to know. Let's take a look. And here is that COVID-19 in New Hampshire, what you need to know. There are 1,139 number of people in New Hampshire who have tested positive for COVID-19. 614,482 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 32 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 178 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 27,085 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. This map of New Hampshire shows where the cases of COVID-19 are in towns and cities of New Hampshire. There are 176 cases of COVID-19 in Manchester. In this graph of New Hampshire, this graph chart of new cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations. And in the red are the deaths. Your common symptoms: fever, cough, and difficult breathing. How it spreads, and prevention tips. Five more deaths linked to COVID-19 confirmed in New Hampshire. 3 deaths in people younger than 60. Let's take a listen to that video.
These are truly challenging times, but New Hampshire companies are here and open for business.
Morning, the total number of confirmed cases in New Hampshire is now 1,139. Health officials announced 5 new deaths on Wednesday. That brings the total to 32. Officials say at least 365 people have recovered from COVID-19 in our state.
Nationwide, there are now nearly 640,000 cases of COVID-19. Nearly 31,000 people have died, and more than 52,000 people have recovered.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Ventilators hard to find, but New Hampshire supplies okay for now. HHS Commissioner says dozens of first responders under quarantine. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
These are truly challenging times, but New Hampshire companies are here and open for business.
One thing the coronavirus is teaching us all is how much we...
State health leaders say that massive delivery of personal protective equipment on Sunday is opening the door to more COVID-19 testing in New Hampshire, but they're still trying to acquire more ventilators. Right now, there are about 900 of them or similar machines in the state.
I like the number we have right now. I would love it if it was about 100 more, and I would be really happy if it was about 300 more. But I'm comfortable where we are right now.
Unemployment numbers continue to soar. During a conference call of top state leaders, the Employment Security Office said it set a record, paying out almost $10 million in benefits yesterday.
To put that into perspective, we paid out approximately $40 million in benefits for the entire year for 2019.
Safety officials also discussing the dangers for first responders. Currently, 76 of them are quarantined, including police officers, firefighters, and EMS workers.
The truth is they're struggling. All healthcare workers right now are struggling.
Meanwhile, the governor says he's looking at models on reopening the economy, but cautions we're not there yet.
When we talk about opening things up, we always have to make sure public health is preeminent, know that we're not out of this until we see a vaccine and get this down to zero. We're always going to have to be managing through this in some way.
And regarding those ventilators, because they're difficult to find, New Hampshire will also be trying to get BiPAP and CPAP machines, which can be used along with oxygen for critical patients. Reporting live in Concord, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. In interview, Buttigieg urges New Hampshire, including his followers, to support Biden. Second place leadoff primary finisher says former VP shares his commitment to democracy, belief, and empathy. Former Mayor Pete Buttigieg returned via Zoom to New Hampshire on Wednesday to urge his supporters and all Democrats to put aside what he views as minor differences aired during the presidential primary campaign and support Joe Biden. Planning underway for COVID-19 testing at Hillsborough, Rockingham facilities. Workers at long-term care assisted living facilities to be tested. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
These are truly challenging times, but New Hampshire companies are here and open for business. The New Hampshire Joint Information Center confirms that starting Monday, mobile COVID-19 test sites set up near long-term care and assisted living facilities in hard-hit Rockingham and Hillsborough counties will test all employees, some 6,600 workers on all shifts.
I know in talking with Convenient MD that they seem excited to get this project underway. They share our concern for the residents.
The head of the New Hampshire Healthcare Association applauds the state's announced partnership to test and for free. He says tests have been hard to access, results slow to turn around, contributing to a workforce shortage, among other things.
There are a lot of untested, asymptomatic people who could potentially come into contact with residents. And so to be able to screen them and confirm that they don't have the virus is, I think, a real plus.
The commissioner of DHHS says if they are seeing a lot of asymptomatic positives, they may retest and expand to other counties. Williams says regular retesting would be ideal.
A person can test negative for the virus, and the next day they might have it. So, there's always going to be that risk.
And he says the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services recommend residents be tested regularly, too.
We're a long ways away from having that now.
The New Hampshire Joint Information Center says once the testing starts, it will take about 17 days to conclude. We're live in Portsmouth. Jennifer Crompton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Local paramedic overcomes PTSD after Boston Marathon bombing. Now treating COVID-19 patients. Treating patients in Lakes region. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
These are truly challenging times, but New Hampshire companies are here and open for business.
I was just about at the Mass Ave Bridge when the bombs went off, and you could I hear the explosion.
Bobby O'Donnell was not hurt, but the horror would scar him. It took a long time to learn his family waiting at the finish line were all okay.
I'm just unable to get in touch with my family and tried to call them by cell phone. Obviously, the worst day of my life.
You have said that your wounds are invisible.
There's a big stigma about it, and people don't want to talk about it. I was ashamed and embarrassed to say that I had PTSD and that I was suffering from the anxiety and depression that's associated with it.
The St. Anselm College student became a paramedic and set off on a quest around the world to learn how to enjoy running again.
Just discovered all these beautiful places that I would have never have gone otherwise, and that I could see more of it if I was running. And the more I ran, I met, the most incredible people, and it led me to kind of this journey around the world.
His journey is now shared in the pages of his new book, Running Wild, A Quest for Healing Across 7 Continents. But there's more to this story. Bobby is serving as a paramedic in the Lakes region right now, helping COVID-19 patients.
And now it's incredibly hands-off in a lot of aspects where we're not on a 911 call. Sometimes you're not entering someone's house. You're doing a screening from the door.
He's concerned this crisis could cause a ripple effect of mental health issues, from the marathon course to his pursuit of healing. He has advice for this next challenge.
My big advice is to make sure that you're communicating with others. So anyone you think that needs checking up on, including yourself.
Jean Mackin, WMUR, News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Maltonborough man, first COVID-19 patient discharged from Lakes Region General Hospital. Family awaiting to greet him. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
These are truly challenging times, but New Hampshire companies are here and open for business.
Mid-state
family members eager to see Robert White stood outside Lakes Region General Hospital as he beat COVID-19. His father in his 90s, front and center with a big sign.
There is hope. It's not always, not always bad.
Robert's daughter, Heidi, more than 4,000 miles away in North Pole, Alaska, says she has felt helpless for the past 16 days after her dad was admitted, finding out he was positive for the virus after coming down with flu-like symptoms.
It's so hard not to be able to get on a plane, to be able to go see him. So that's been my hardest thing, because you just want to be there for the family.
Her father, intubated on a ventilator, could have no visitors, but Heidi says staff at the hospital made communication possible through FaceTime phone calls. And Wednesday, this victory walk through the hospital doors, emotional for everyone.
I think we all filled up with tears as we were watching this from our windows and that, as we saw the staff leaving, and it was just wonderful.
Robert is now at home, resting. Heidi, sending out a heartfelt thank you to the medical staff, is now counting the days until the crisis is over. She can fly home and hug her dad.
I may not let go.
Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. S&P 500 and NASDAQ rise as Amazon, Netflix hit record highs. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ rose in volatile trading as Amazon and Netflix reached record levels, while investors shared more data reflecting the economy devastating from the coronavirus pandemic. Coronavirus updates. Mayor urges Trump to help New York City get back on our feet. The city is expected to lose $7.4 billion in tax revenue over the next year. More than 2 million have been infected with the novel coronavirus worldwide as the pandemic continues to affect every aspect of people's lives. The global death toll stands at more than 139,000 people, according to data compiled by the Center for Systems Science and Engineering at Johns Hopkins University. The actual numbers are believed to be much higher due to a number of deaths in which a person is not tested for the virus. Many municipalities have begun counting probable deaths caused by COVID-19, including New York City, the epicenter for the disease in the United States. The U.S. has more deaths in cases than any country in the world, with more than 640,000 diagnosed cases and at least 31,002 deaths. Today's biggest developments: 68 dead at New Jersey nursing home. NYC expected to lose $7.4 billion in tax revenue. Harry and Meghan help at food shelter. And that does it for this afternoon edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your afternoon, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.